Hey everyone, it's the Angry Honey Badger, and it's time for us to take a look at the newest patch notes released from Riot. This is patch 3.02. We're going to go ahead and take a look at all the changes happening in this patch, starting off with Akali. First, we are taking a look at her twin disciplines. Twin discipline of Force, which this is her passive if you don't know. It now takes effect immediately at the beginning of the game instead of requiring 19.5 ability power, but the base damage bonus has been reduced by 2%. And then we also have the Discipline of Might part of it, where it is also going to take an immediate effect instead of requiring 9.5 attack damage, and its base spell vamp bonus is being reduced by 2% as well. It's pretty strong passive. This kind of works out in both ways. Now you don't have to build a special kind of rune page to get these buffs right at the beginning of the game. So rune pages for Akali will change now, and that'll be nice for her, definitely, for that. But a little bit less on the receiving end for the bonus damage and spell vamp is going to be unfortunate, but she's a strong champion, so shouldn't really affect you too much. Next, we do have Anivia Rebirth. Chat messages from Anivia will now have a custom champion name while she's in egg form. That's interesting. Janna, we have her basic attack, should now feel more responsive. I'm always a big fan of them doing things like this. Some of the non-responsive casts when people are standard attacking are just really unfortunate. And it's good to see them fix this on a few champions that they've done over a few times. Next, we do have Jarvan. His cadence, the bug fix on that is going to deal more damage than intended to minions and monsters, so that's getting fixed. Next, we do have Lulu. We have Glitter Lance. When cast after help picks, Glitter Lance no longer gains an increased area of effect size against the target of help picks. So that's going to be just, you know, a little tweak there. And then Whimsley no longer interrupts enemy movement abilities that are already in progress. So a little bit of a fix there as well. Next, we have Master Yi, his Alpha Strike. There is a bug that caused Alpha Strike to appear available when it was on cooldown. I had seen that actually a few times, so it's good that that got fixed. Next, we do have Morgana. We have Soul Shackles. They fixed a bug that would sometimes cause Soul Shackle sound and spell effect to play even when the target wasn't stunned, which that's also an interesting bug fix because that sounds broken. Next, we have Nami. Nami's basic attack should also feel more responsive now, which is nice, and her base movement speed is being increased by 5, which will be kind of cool for her. I think she still could kind of use a slight buff, but she's interesting as a champion nonetheless. Next, we do have Nasus. We have his Siphoning Strike. They fixed a bug where Siphoning Strikes, critical strikes were dealing more damage than intended, and the mana cost has been reduced to 20 at all ranks from 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40. This will really help you keep farming it as the game goes on. I know I've talked to some people who say they don't have a problem while farming in lane with his Siphoning Strike, but I can run myself out of mana because I can Siphoning Strike enemy champion or enemy minions that fast and keep filling it up that I can actually drain my mana. So this will be a nice way to continually keep stacking it without burning all your mana up. And then also next we have his Fury of the Sands. Now increases the attack range by 50 and cast range by 100 while active, and the mana cost has been reduced by 50 on that as well. So some nice little changes to Nasus. Not going to really make him overpowered or anything, but just some nice little tweaks that are going to help him out. Next we do have Nocturne. They fixed a bug where Nocturne would automatically chase his target after using Paranoia, so we'll fix there. Next, there's Renekton fixed a bug on his Slice and Dice. Wouldn't work on minions that he couldn't see. So a tweak there. Next, we do have some changes to Riven. Runic Blade adjusted damage to 15 to 45% of our total attack damage based on champion level, from 5 to 15, plus a 0.5 bonus attack damage. This is a tweak that I've been praying for a long time. I really thought that this was a kind of a broken stat that a lot of people ignored on Riven, but I thought it was really strong back in the day. Hopefully this helps tweak it out to make it so it's a good stat still, but not overpowered early, because that was the problem with it originally. So hopefully this helps balance her out a little bit in that way. And then for her Broken Wings, they fixed a bug that was causing Broken Wings to improperly apply to splash damage in Valor when cast too recently. So a little tweak there as well. Next we do have Sivir Ricochet. They fixed a bug where the cooldown on earlier ranks was longer than intended. And then next we do have Biowar Assault and Battery. There's a fix, a bug on that where the crowd control component of Assault and Battery was ignoring spell shields. So kind of a tweak there, just a lot of bug fixes this patch to help keep things flowing in the game nice and smoothly. And then finally we do have Ziggs with Hexplosive Minefield. Fixed a bug where the sound effect of triggering a mine would not play. And I do remember seeing this a few times because that was kind of screwed up, and it was confusing nonetheless. So that's going to be all the champion changes happening in this patch, this go around. Next, we do have some tweaks to some items that are going to be kind of important, so we'll go over those. Athene's Unholy Grail cooldown reduction is going to be increased to 20% from 15%. Which is awesome because most of the champions I build Athenes on are champions that use tons of mana and benefit from cooldown. As they stated in the notes, they really want to make cooldown reduction be something that you pursue if you want it, but something you don't accidentally trip into getting if that's not what you're looking for. So cooldown reduction is something that is gonna, it makes a big difference depending on what's happening in the game, and I really like the change to Athenes for this. Next, we do have some changes to Glacial Shroud. Combined cost has been reduced a little bit, so it's going to be cheaper to buy. Armor has been increased by 5, and the cooldown reduction has been reduced by 5%. So this is one of those items that's going to get a little bit of cooldown reduction removed from it because it's kind of just there most of the time. A lot of people don't usually straight up go, Glacial Shroud, I want the cooldown reduction. They want it because it's nice to have that cooldown reduction, but you're getting that armor and it is building into future items for you. Next, we have some changes to Spirit Visage. The combined cost has increased a little bit on that, so it's going to cost a bit more. And the cooldown reduction has been increased on that by 5%. This is another item that most people were building because of the cooldown reduction and because of the item. Or I guess I said Spirit Visage. I guess it's Visage from what I hear, but whatever. Don't really care. Anyways, next we do have the Deathfire Grasp. Combined cost has been reduced by about 200 gold, so that's going to be nice, make it a little bit cheaper, and the cooldown reduction on that has been decreased by 5%. Like they said in the patch, this is kind of an item a lot of people built for its nuke ability, but not really for its cooldown reduction, so they can tweak that. Zeke's Herald is seeing a little bit of a change. Combined cost has been increased by 100 gold. The cooldown reduction has also been increased on it by 5%, so that's going to be nice for support champions. Next, we do have Iceborne Gauntlet. Total cost has been reduced a little bit. Cooldown reduction has also been reduced by 5%. They fixed a bug where the slow field was lasting longer than it was intended. They've also fixed a bug where the slow was not being applied immediately. Kind of tweaked that, so that should help fix that. The slow field radius for ranged champions has been reduced, though, which is going to make it not as powerful on Ezreal. This was really not meant for carries at first, and it's pretty good on him, although I don't really build it on him. I still like Sheen out of the Trinity Force. Personally, it was strong on them, so they're going to reduce the radius on the ranged champions, and on melee champions, it's actually going to get bigger by 10. So this is going to benefit the kind of bruisers and tankier bruisers more so than the AD carries picking it up. So maybe we'll see a switch back from that. If not, this should help even it out a bit more, though. Next, we do have the Chalice of Harmony. The recipe has changed. It is a Fairy Charm, and a Null Magic Mantle, plus 120 gold, equaling 80 gold. So a little bit of a change there, but nonetheless, just a tweak to that. And then next, we do have the Frozen Heart. Its combined cost has actually been increased by 150 gold, and the armor has been increased by 5, which is kind of nice because Frozen Heart's amazing. Next, we have Negatron Cloak. The cost has been reduced a little bit, and the magic resist has been reduced by 5. Quicksilver Sash combined cost has been reduced to 830 gold from 850. Avarice Blade, gold per 10 seconds is going to be increased to 3 per 10 instead of 2 per 10, so it's going to give you a little bit more gold over time, which is going to be a nice little tweak to that. 2 every 10 seconds really didn't add up to be too much. Eliza's Miracle now reduces the cooldown of Heal, Clairvoyance, Clarity by 25% and reducing the cooldown of Heal, Clairvoyance, and Revive by 20%. Executioner's Calling, there is going to be some tweaks to that. Critical Strike chance increased to 20% from 15%. So, that's happening there. Next, we have Landry's Torment. We have the ability power being reduced by 10. The damage per second increased to 2% from 1.66, and the damage over time and multi-target spells no longer have reduced effects. Fixed a damage effect not being properly reapplied on targets that already have it. So some tweaks to this item. I understand them reducing the ability power. Everybody started building this item. This is going to still be a good item. The 2% from the 1.66 basically makes up for that 10 missing. So the damage over time and the multiple target spells no longer have the reduced effect, so that's that for the most part. So This will make it a little bit more of a unique playstyle for people who want to pick this up. But it's a decent item on certain champions when paired up, especially with certain other items. So, nonetheless, I wouldn't say you need this every game, but it is helpful on a few casters, nonetheless. Next, we have Olmrecker. Olmrecker. Sorry. Sounds fun to say, especially in a weird way. I get bored, as you can tell, middle of these patch notes. Nonetheless, we have a recipe change on that. We have a Ruby Crystal, plus a Blasting Wand, plus a Philosopher's Stone, plus 800 gold. And you get 350 health, 50 ability power, 15 health regen per 5 seconds, and 15 mana regen per 5 seconds, and it retains the same unique active. Kind of a cool item. Maybe I will do the shop video on this soon. Some people don't know what this item is, and it's pretty epic, to be honest. So, maybe we'll cover that soon. Next, we do have Rabadon's Death Cap. The combined cost has been increased by a bit, which would be 100 gold. And the ability power bonus has been increased to 30% from 25%. So I actually kind of like that. That's going to be kind of nice for that. Spirit of the Spectral Wraith. The new unique passive reduces the cooldown on Smite by 20%. So that's kind of nifty. Kind of clear faster that way. And next we do have Shrelia's Reverie. We have cooldown reduction is no longer unique. Blade of the Ruined King attack damage is going to be increased by 5, and the current health damage increased to 5% from 4%. And then next we do have the Wit's End, where the magic resist has been increased to 25 from 20 on that. So that's going to be cool going on there. We have some other stuff. I haven't looked over this at all, although I don't really look over any of this until I do this video, which, you know, it keeps me on my toes. And it sees how good I can read, which isn't very good sometimes. Nonetheless, though, leagues, they've fixed a number of display bugs in the league system and updated the rules around displaying Season 2 loading screen borders in each queue. Normal and co-op games now show the higher reward for each rank solo or the blah 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 blah. I don't really care about any of this. Blah 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 blah. Rank games should still show the reward of the fact that you. Alright, cool. Matchmaking, they've adjusted some stuff there. Item shop optimization. Also some fun stuff there. Co-op versus AI. Shenbot should now continue to function. Alright, that's cool. General. Ash is no longer consumed while attacking wards. What? Oh, okay. I see what's up. This is kind of interesting. Which is a bunch of little tricks for wards when attacking him. It doesn't consume the headshot from Caitlyn, which is kind of nice. And a bunch of other kind of cool stuff. So this is some nice little... Pick a card, no longer consumed while attacking wards. That'd be a great way to... You could throw away a pick a card, but that would suck. So that's kind of nice. That's tweaked all of that, nonetheless. But there's a bunch of other general tweaks. We will look at these, because they're important. Important, I tell you. Alright, the teleport indicator on the minimap should now appear more distinct from recalls. Some people were getting confused. The chat command system has been changed slightly. If some of you did not notice that, you can type all commands to get a complete list of chat commands. So that's something you need to know. If you want to type /help/command, you can get detailed in the chat command for that stuff. You can now ignore a player who's playing a specific champion on your team by typing /ignore @champion name. So you can do that as well, although you can do it an easier way than that. Anyways, knock-ups now function more consistently and should fail less frequently when close to walls. Yeah, that's something that's been a little weird. Setting the disable camera snap to respawn 1 option should now cause the spacebar to stop working for the respawn. Which was an issue I was noticing too. Muting a player will no longer mute his map pings, which is going to be a good thing. So that, yeah, because I do remember a few times muting people, but it is important to maybe see a ping. But nonetheless, map pings have been, you can't spam them like crazy. It will shut you off. Don't try this, but if you start spamming pings like crazy, yeah, you can't do it. It just tells you that you've done this too much. So look out for that. Alright, fixed an issue that prevented some players from receiving in-game messages that included special characters. Alright, that's cool. Zooming the camera in and out has been smoothed, which I guess is nice. Boots of Mobility will now show a cooldown for its passive effect. That's kind of nifty. You can now have an option to display your auto-attack range by pressing attack, which is kind of nifty. The camera should no longer pan when League of Legends is not the program on focus, which is also nifty. Kog'Maw, Karthus, and Zyra should no longer give double kills when using Muramana. Nami's Aqua Prison should now properly reset jungle creeps, and hitting spacebar while using lock camera should no longer disable locked camera mode. That's interesting, but doesn't apply to me. Anyways, everyone, this has been the patch notes. A lot of bug fixes this patch notes, but as I like to see, bug fixes are good because it just smooths out the game, and that means champions didn't need tweaks. So I kind of like this patch. It's not too bad. Handful of things changing the items, so make sure you take note of that if you're used to certain gold costs or certain things that items were doing. Shouldn't really change too much stuff. Nothing really got destroyed. But just some little tweaks that should even some things out throughout the game, and should see a preventing of people stacking the same items every game that were a little bit too powerful. So those are going to be the changes to the games. If you guys have any input, positive or negative, to the changes, you can put those in the comments below. If you have any questions, you can also put those in the comments below. Hopefully I will see all of them, but there's lots of weird comments usually down there. But nonetheless, guys, I think that's going to pretty much cover this patch notes, and other than that, I'll just see all of you guys in the next video.